Okay, so after you met Jamil, then how did that relationship like evolve and develop? What did he evolve into?
So I sent him and his assistant at the time an email. It was a cold email. I didn't know the guy. I Googled him. I figured he was Drake's tour manager. And, I get this really, I guess, straightforward response back. He pretty much said, don't email me, email my assistant. And, this is after I'm spending, summer in New York, in super corporate America, where they'll tell you that they hate you in the nicest, most pleasant way. And he was just straight up like, nah. And, I think after that moment, I realized, okay, well, I gotta start figuring this out, because at this point, I've convinced my friends that we're going to OVO Fest. So we've gotten an Airbnb, we figured out, how we're getting there. The group of friends were gonna drive, I think that Thursday, get there before the weekend. I was gonna get on a Greyhound after my last day of the internship. And I hit up one of my friends in Toronto, the only friend I had in Toronto. I met her over Tumblr. I used to be an iPhoneographer, and I would just post pictures on Tumblr, and we ended up becoming pen pals. But that was the only person I knew in Toronto, and I figured, she lived in Toronto, she had a 416 area code number, she could hit them up, and it'd be her first impression, and they would easily say, yeah, come by and work. And then I was just going to finesse and just show up, because, I would have gotten the address by then. And that's kind of how it worked out. I packed my bags, got the internship job offer. So this is like Friday now. My friends are already in Toronto. Everybody's counting on me. I get on this Greyhound bus after work. I'm still in a suit and tie. And I think right before I crossed the border, I got a phone call from my friend. She was like, yo, they just called me. They want me to be at the amphitheater at this time tomorrow. You should be there. And so luckily I saw the call, picked it up. And I had a mission. As soon as I got to Toronto, put my bags down. See, I thought that the suit was like a thing that I needed. It was like my armor. I didn't know how music or entertainment worked. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna show up in the suit and they're just gonna let me in. And, it's not really how it works.
Who makes theirs?
I had no idea. So I walk and I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm about to manifest, I'm about to do this whole thing where I tell the security guard that I'm here for a meeting. Even though I don't have a meeting, I'm just gonna finesse it. Hopefully cause enough confusion to where he has to call for backup, and then just keep it going from there. And so I get there, it kind of works out that way. The security guard calls Drake's security guards, and I'm like, oh, wow, this is a thing. So now I'm being escorted backstage, and I'm still in this suit. And I walk into Jamil's office, and Jamil is Drake's tour manager, and he's, probably dealing with Kanye and dealing with Outkast and all these different people. And meanwhile, I just walk into his office in a suit, a navy blue suit with a gray tie, and he just stops everything he's doing, looks around, and is just like, get this guy out of my office. Like, who's this guy in a suit? And so I had just spent 12 hours on a Greyhound. Didn't even tell anybody I was doing this. And meanwhile, my friends were in Toronto. I'm supposed to be the plug for these tickets, and I just got asked to leave. So, I had no other option at this point. I think that's the persistence in me. I just sat there or just stood there for 15 seconds, felt like 5 minutes. It was the longest silence, because I couldn't tell if he was joking. The security guards couldn't tell if he was joking, so we're all just looking at each other and luckily his assistant at the time, Tyler, ends up walking in, and I've been coordinating with, back and forth on email with Tyler, and so he looks at me, he's like, James? And I'm like, Tyler? He's like, yeah, why don't you come over here and take that suit jacket off? And so I ended up, having a conversation with him that changed everything for me. I found out, he was Drake's tour assistant. He'd been with Jamil for about a year at that point. He had just graduated from college. He was a year older than me. He's a Virgo like I am. And at that point, I was like, yo, whatever this guy's doing, I have to do this. I'd never felt so, I guess, convicted in my life. And at this point, I told you, I have my whole 20-year plan. And I meet this kid, and immediately I'm like, I gotta move to LA. I gotta be a manager. I don't even know what that means. And I gotta work with these guys.